Hello everybody, welcome to Minute Meteorology. In this video we will be talking about possible major storms from tomorrow and so on and so forth all the way to Saturday. There's also another possible major storm video going to come out soon for the 17th through 20th, so look out for that. Before the video starts, I just wanted to say please hit that subscribe button if you love weather content like this, and hit the bell to never miss a weather update or forecast. Also, I now have a Discord. I'll have the link in the description below so you can join and you can get early access to new weather videos. Alright, so right off the bat, we're looking at our Storm Prediction Center SPC forecasts. This is today's outlook. You can see highest there is a marginal risk around areas like Texas over here, and even a little bit up by Wyoming up there, and then that general thunderstorm risk around Texas, the plains, and some of the Rockies and northern plains. Alrighty, now we're looking at tomorrow's outlook, which is our main day of severe weather. You can see it's all the way up to an enhanced risk right around here, which is 3 out of 5 chance for severe weather here. And then we have that slight risk along the plains like Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. But we're looking to see our main threat in this enhanced risk around Oklahoma and Texas. That's where we'll see our main threat. And then we have a marginal risk put in place for places like Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, places that are sort of outside of what we're going to see. And then finally we have that general thunderstorm risk basically covering almost all of the plains here, the Midwest, and even a little bit down here over by the Florida Keys and southern Florida. So that's where we'll see our main threat, especially in that enhanced. And now we're going to take a look at our tornado outlook. First, we'll look at this 5% here in place around that enhanced area, which is for Oklahoma and Texas, and then that 2% risk within 25 miles of a given location, also for Texas, Oklahoma, and then a little bit of southern Kansas getting in with that. Okay, now we're looking at our day 2 hail outlook, which is tomorrow. Once again, first we'll look at that 5% risk. That means about pea to quarter size hail is possible in those areas with the 5% chance of that. And then that 15% chance there, mainly in place for Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. And then a bit of Missouri and Nebraska getting some of that. And then in the significant area inside the 15% here is where we'll also see some of our high potential for hail, and especially in that yellow is where we'll see that quarter to softball or baseball size hail. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at our damaging wind outlook. So here's our damaging wind outlook. You can see we have it all the way up to a 30% chance risk, which is awfully high, especially for that Oklahoma and Texas area right along there. And then the 15% chance also for Texas and Oklahoma and a bit of southern Kansas. And then finally that 5% chance around Texas, Oklahoma, and also southern Kansas. That's where we'll see very high winds, especially in the 15 and 30% chance is where we can see most of the chance for damaging wind gusts, such as knocking down baseball hoops, maybe ripping off some roof shingles. And also that's what is helping us with the tornado risk. Now we're going to go ahead on and look at our CAPE This is very important for tornado and severe storm development. So right off the bat, we're looking at a sort of a line of yellow there, right here around Kansas and Oklahoma, and then there's a big chunk down here by Texas, and that's where we'll see most of the severe weather development start to happen, and rotation and supercell development. Now here is our next frame. You can see it strengthens quite a bit, especially around here in Kansas. That's where our slight risk for Kansas comes in. And just in this whole yellow area up here, stretching from Nebraska into and through Texas there. And then we have all these splotches of red in Texas, but mainly Oklahoma is getting that yellow risk, and the main red risk is around Kansas here. Now let's take a look at our next frame. Now it weakens off just a bit. This is on the 14th here now. It weakens off just a bit. Still a lot of yellow showing up around here for Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, and a little splotch right there in Missouri, but that's no worry. But especially around here, these areas there. Then as we move on to our next frame, it strengthens quite a bit, especially in this purple area right here, and also there's a little bit of purple down here, and then that red stretching from Kansas down into and through Texas, and even a little bit reaching out into Arkansas, and then that yellow around Arkansas, Missouri, bordering states of the states that are looking to still have severe weather. And then this is actually a couple hours skipped ahead. This is when it starts developing once again. The one we just looked at before weakens off after that, so it kind of has a quick burst of energy and then it weakens off. Now first, here is our next low pressure that comes through. You can see that sort of line of red from Oklahoma and Texas. This time Kansas not really getting in with that. But then you can see those little areas of purple around where my lines are. Let me move them so you can see that. So those couple of areas of purple there. Now it sort of widens out a bit and stretches all the way into Arkansas around here, and it sort of makes a U shape if you think of it right here, an upside down U shape, sort of like a horseshoe, and then little splotches of a little bit of purple there for this cape. Now we head on to, this is our supercell composite. It's the same colors as cape, except obviously on that bottom bar you can see there, the higher the number is, the more of a chance that supercells can be formed and rotation can become. So first off, we just have this little blue and yellow area around here, not too high yet, and then it sort of moves off very fast. High winds, but not really any tornado development very soon or yet. And then there is a big jump surprisingly for Kansas, actually. At first we thought it was going to be mainly Oklahoma getting all the severe weather, but it looks like it's moving a little bit northeast than usual because of the fronts changing. How the warm front will be around here during this time, and then the cold front somewhere around there. And as we go back to our supercell stuff, you can see this little small circle there is where the most potential is, and then that yellow and blue surrounding it. Now we head on to the next frame. That sort of weakens off and moves towards the east. And now we'll go ahead and look at our this yellow splotch down here around Oklahoma and Texas, and also these blue areas around here. And just so you know, the gray doesn't really have a high chance. There can be some wall clouds or supercells, but probably no tornado development and not very high wind speeds yet, at least. Now we head on to our next frame. A line sort of starts to appear here, very surprising right here, and then a little bit over here, so it kind of has a line like this in this whole area. So the warm front is around here and the cold front is around here. And then as this moves through, it starts to strengthen. Now we're looking at our energy for these storms that start to move through. So available energy and instability for these storms to strengthen. First, we have this very long line of energy from Texas all the way up into and through Nebraska, and then going a little bit into Wyoming. But mainly we're looking around this Texas area where it has these red areas here, which is where we'll see most of the energy coming through. And it stays in the same area, but is still an awful lot of energy there for severe thunderstorm development. And then it moves off to the east, and then it starts to strengthen quite a bit once again in this big splotch area right here, especially in this yellow and red area over here. That's where we'll see our most energy as it moves through. And then here, you can sort of see what's very different about this storm and interesting and weird about this is that you can sort of see a bow line right here of the energy. So it's looking to maybe have a bow line of supercell and thunderstorm development stretching from Oklahoma and even maybe getting a bit up into Nebraska and Kansas border, but especially in this purple and brown area here is where we'll see most of it. And then it moves through and it weakens off a little bit, but then a couple hours later the energy comes right back for Oklahoma and Texas, so the storms will get more energy and it increases the risk for severe weather. And especially here, when there's that really big area of purple and red, that's where our most development will be, and this is around the enhanced risk area for Oklahoma and Texas, so that's why they put an enhanced risk in there, especially for that purple area. And as we move into the next frame, it weakens off a bit, but there still is some red and yellow remaining, and all of a sudden it becomes very, very widespread, a gap right here, but then we have this whole area right here full with energy for these storms to move through, especially maybe the fronts right here being able to move through and become very severe. Finally, now we're going to look at our storm relative helicity after it sort of gets all that energy bunched up. So first off, in this first frame, you might be confused, like, whoa, that's super high. Well, let me just tell you, the average is red and yellow, so that means mainly brown and white down here is the biggest threat, but also purple and red could be part of that, and then yellow, maybe some isolated thunderstorms. So first off, we have this whole bunch over here stretching from Texas into Oklahoma, and the main area over here in Kansas with that brown and purple area, so very, very strong thunderstorms moving through there. And then it weakens off and moves up to the northeast. That's when the day 3 outlook comes in. That actually has a slight risk for areas up here, so not too surprising. But we still have little areas of red for Kansas and Oklahoma. And then we move through, and then we see these little 2 areas of brown, and then these areas of purple and red here, very high storm energy, so severe storms definitely expected. And then a huge area of brown comes out of nowhere for the enhanced risk for severe weather, especially for southwestern Oklahoma and the northern panhandle of Texas, and even little clips of Texas that you could see around here. Then as we move through, it strengthens quite a bit here, still weakening, but it keeps its strength, especially in this brownish area as it moves through. And then there's a big surprising area of energy for actually Colorado. So I'm guessing the frontal boundary will be around here. It'll be much more northeast than we think. So my guess is that the frontal boundary will be around here, and then the warm frontal boundary will be around here, so that all the severe weather is packed. Now we're looking at also more isolated energy for Oklahoma and parts of Kansas, and even a little bit of Colorado and Nebraska, getting some of that. And it sort of moves off, and then we can see this line right here for development. This is on the 16th. And finally, for the storm relative energy, we have a little bit of a line around here. Maybe not so much development, but it could still be strong thunderstorms. Now I want to show you our temperature anomalies. Now remember, the higher the temperature, the more favor for development of severe storms. So first off, we can see this sort of line of high air masses around here stretching from Mexico up to Montana. And really, this is what's going to help the severe weather start to develop, especially strong storms. And then this area around here where you can see it's a bit higher, that's also a very favorable area. And this whole reddish yellow area around here also has a small potential for severe storms and maybe just general thunderstorms. And then as that line starts to move towards the northeastern areas of the United States, we still have that stronger areas of heat down there, and this whole line of heat around here, just like that. Now briefly, we're going to look at our precipitation rate. First, we have this little blotch right here, and as that moves through, it sort of weakens there. And then as the new one starts to come through, it produces a supercell looking promising storm around here. And as we move through here, you can see this little blotch over here, and then that line up there as it moves through, and then it becomes very isolated thunderstorms all around here, especially in these areas that I'm highlighting over here. Finally, we have one more frame right here that we're looking at, more weaker, but still some isolated thunderstorms. Finally, I absolutely thank you guys for watching through this whole video. I hope you enjoyed. Please hit that subscribe button if you like weather content like this, and hit the bell to never miss an update or forecast, just in case there's anything happening in your area. With that, I thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next update. Bye-bye.